This one.
This one. I ended up trying some pretty strange snacks in the Philippines, but none were quite like this.
Looks like a party. Drink.
Cheers. The rest of this video might make you hungry, but this snack probably won't. The Philippines is best known as a destination for paradise islands and pristine beaches. But for me, there is another must-see wonder of this country, and that is the food. When compared to the rest of Southeast Asia, I think Filipino food is pretty underrated by the Western world. So I spent 2 months eating my way around the islands to taste as many classic local dishes as I could. And this is a collection of my very first impressions. Let's go into the first taste. Like many tourists, our journey began in the capital city of Metro Manila. And between the skyscrapers and busy streets, we kicked things off with a real local classic. Adobo is a staple of Filipino home cooking. Everyone claims that their mum or grandma makes the very best one, usually made by cooking chicken or pork in a salty mixture of soy sauce and vinegar. But seeing as I don't have a Filipino grandma myself, we headed over to one of Manila's huge shopping malls to try some adobo in the food court. We are at Adobo Connection in Robinson's Mall in Manila, and I'm about to try my very first chicken and pork adobo, which is an absolute classic of a Filipino dish. So, very excited. So, this is chicken and pork marinated in soy and vinegar. I'll have my first taste now. Really tender meat. Flavor's really nice. It's almost like a gravy. It's good. It's very satisfying. Adobo became a staple dish for me in the Philippines. It's readily available and you can often get it with fish and other meats as well. So it's really interesting to try all of the different spins on it. After that, we left Manila and took a flight over to the island of Coron, famed for its incredible lakes and lagoons. But before we set off to see the sights, I wanted to try a classic Filipino breakfast. And this is a silog. It usually consists of meat and rice with an egg on the side. The most well-known combination is with tapa, a tasty cured beef. And this is the one that I first tried. We found this amazing rooftop in Coron town to try a Filipino breakfast for the first time. So we've got some cured beef, a fried egg, and some rice with some garlic in it by the looks of it. Let's try some of the meat. Amazing flavour. Nice sticky sweetness to it. It's just so satisfying. What a way to start the day. In Coron town, we also had our very first taste of what would become my favourite single dish in the Philippines. This is Kinilaw, a local twist on a ceviche. So it's a fresh raw fish salad seasoned with calamansi. Now, a calamansi is a tiny lime which is native to the Philippines, and you can make drinks from it, and it also helps to season many other dishes here. Let's try some Kinilaw for the first time. Raw fish. That is delicious. Got a nice spice to it. Nice citrus flavours. Tastes really fresh. Whenever I saw Kinilaw on a menu, I had to order it. And again, it was really fun to taste all of the different variations from place to place. From Coron, we took a ferry to the island of Palawan, starting in the town of El Nido, one of the most popular tourist destinations in the whole country. And it was on nearby Nakpan Beach that I put together a small tasting session of a few of the most famous liquids in the land. One of my favourite things to do when I travel around the world is try the local beers. So today I'm going to try my very first Filipino beers. I'm going to start with one that I've had before, which is the San Miguel Pale Pilsen. So this is the same San Miguel that you'll find in Spain, but they actually do have their own unique Philippines brewery where they brew different beers, and the Pale Pilsen is one of them. What I love about this beer is the bottle looks like it's washed up from some sort of shipwreck. It's awesome. Now, like I said, I've already tried this before, so... Oh, that's really good. Nice flowery taste. It's like someone sat down and thought, what are the best flavours to have when you're really hot sitting on the beach? It's the Pale Pilsen. Moving on. Now, I don't really have high hopes for this one. It's the San Miguel Light, and light beers are a bit pissy usually, but let's see what it's like. Yeah, I mean, we don't need to talk about that one. And finally, it's one that I've seen everywhere and I'm yet to try. It's the Red Horse beer, extra strong. 6.9%. Yeah, it's got a more malty taste than the Pilsen. But yeah, still very refreshing. Oh, I like that actually, that's really good. So 2 out of 3 are good. That's a pretty good hit ratio. Now I've got to sit here and finish these beers. It's not a bad life. And for any non-beer drinkers looking for some refreshment, there is nothing better than some fresh Buko juice. The Philippines is the second largest exporter of coconuts in the world, so there's no excuse to miss out on some of these. You'll find it bottled in supermarkets or convenience stores, and you can find fresh ones pretty much anywhere. And I'm not really a fan of coconuts normally, but something about these. It's a great sound. It's really good. From El Nido, we made the journey south to the small town of Port Barton, which is a really lovely chilled out place right on the beach. And it was here on that sand that I tried yet another classic dish. This time, it was Sinigang. I'm on the beach here in Port Barton, ready to try my very first pork sinigang, which is a sour meat stew, and it's a Filipino classic. Feels a little bit odd having a hot soup in a beautiful place like this, where it's boiling hot, but I'm gonna give it a go. Let's try some of the soup first. It's a real hit of sourness. It's made with a tamarind base, and you can really taste some ginger in there as well. Let's get a bit of the pork. Really soft meat, tender, really delicious. Again, we had Sinigang quite a few times after this, and I think fish Sinigang is particularly good. And speaking of seafood, when we were in Palawan, we also got our first taste of island hopping in the Philippines. And when you book a tour, you usually get a freshly cooked lunch included, most often in buffet style. And they really don't do things by half measures here. In between amazing beaches, you'll get served some amazing fresh seafood and grilled meats, so you definitely won't go hungry. Our last stop on Palawan was the city of Puerto Princesa, the capital of the island and home to the famous underground river. But here, I had my first taste of something even more iconic. I am very excited because we are about to go and eat at a legendary Filipino establishment. The most popular fast food chain in the Philippines is not McDonald's, it's not KFC, it's the one and only Jollibee. You can't walk very far in the Philippines without running into this friendly-faced guy. But I had resisted his charms until this very moment. And before you dismiss this as just another fast food chain, you might want to wait and see what unusual items they serve here compared to most Western chains. On my first trip inside, I pretty much ordered half the menu. And it's fair to say, this was the first of many trips inside those bright red walls. It was a little bit noisy in the restaurant, so I've come back to the hotel to have my first Jollibee experience, and look at this feast. I've ordered the Jolly Super Meal option A, but as if that wasn't enough, I also ordered some things on the side. Let's get into this. So I'm going to start with some fries, nice and easy. Got a small little bag. Good. Standard fries, nothing special. Ooh. That pineapple iced tea is good. Okay, let's move on to the Yum Burger. So it's just a burger patty in a small bun with some sort of white sauce that looks like mayo. Yeah, it's nice, your standard hamburger. It's like a sweet mayo in there, which goes with it quite nicely. Right, let's move on to the Jolly hot dog. It's got some grated cheese on top. Then it looks like maybe some cheese sauce and then ketchup as well. The sausage is actually quite nice and meaty, which I didn't expect. I thought it would be a bit more sort of fast foody and kind of very small hot dog, but this is good. Let's move away from the classics and move on to sort of the Jollibee specials. Now I'm going to start with the famous Jollibee spaghetti. Now I've already heard that this is not going to be like sort of European Italian spaghetti. This is Filipino spaghetti, so I think it's going to have its own sort of unique flavour. It's got a red sauce, and it looks like there's a few bits of sausage inside as well. Oh wow, you can definitely taste some sweetness in there. I think that's the Filipino part. It's nice though, it's like a marinara sauce, and then I think the sausage tastes a bit like sort of chorizo, like a cured sausage, which definitely adds some other flavour to it. God, that sweetness is so strange. Okay, next let's move on to the burger steak. So it looks like the same sort of burger patty that was in the Yum Burger. It's covered in this kind of creamy mushroom sauce. That's quite sweet as well. Yeah, it's quite good. They go quite well together. So that just leaves a piece of fried chicken, which I got spicy. It's a good size actually, it's quite big. Alright, let's give this a bite. That's a good piece of chicken. The batter on the outside is nice and crunchy. The meat is soft. Nice spicy flavour as well. Yeah, I like that a lot. Might be one of the better things. So overall, I think the burger and the hot dog, they're okay. But the spaghetti and the burger steak, it's so unusual. I'm not used to having that sort of thing in a fast food chain that, you know, that was fun to try. But the fried chicken, that's very good. Cheers, Jollibee. Our journey continued into the incredible Romblon province, probably my favourite area of the Philippines, where we had some amazing fresh seafood every night, and it was here where we tried our very first sizzling sisig. Sisig is traditionally made from parts of pig's head and chicken liver, but you can find many other variations like fish or vegetables, but they all come served so hot that it still sizzles at the table. From Romblon, we headed over to Boracay and then to the city of Cebu. We stayed in an ultra-modern area of the city called the IT Park, which is home to the best food market that we visited in the whole country. This is the Sugbo Mercado, a great place to try loads of Filipino dishes all in one small place. Cebu is actually famous for one dish in particular, This is lechon, a suckling pig roast that has been a staple dish here since the Spanish colonial times. And it's most common to eat this at a party or a celebration. There are quite a few vendors serving lechon in the market here, so I tried a couple of different variations. Okay, so I've got a plate of lechon here. I got this one hot and spicy, and it's stuffed with all sorts of good things. Can't wait to give it a try. Oh my god, the meat is so tender and the flavour is so good. This skin looks really nice and crispy as well. Oh, I love it. That wasn't quite enough for me, so I grabbed some more from a different stand. Get a little plastic bag to eat with this one. So this is more of a plain lechon, so you should get more of the meat flavour. And again, just the meat is so tender and the flavours are just unreal. In Cebu, we also tried one of the country's most famous desserts. It is yet another sweltering hot day today in Cebu City, so I'm looking for some refreshment, Filipino style. I'm going to try one of the most famous desserts in this whole country, the halo halo. Halo halo literally translates as mix mix. An assortment of various different sweet things mixed together with condensed milk and crushed ice. So there's a mixture of all sorts in here. I'm not sure what all of it is, but it looks like there's some sort of little jelly squares. And then there's this purple ice cream, which is ube flavour. And ube is sort of like a yam, sort of part of the sweet potato family. Yeah, you can really taste a lot of condensed milk. And then just other sweet things. There's a bean in there. It is very refreshing, so it's doing the job. While we were in the city, we also had dinner at Jerry's, a popular chain restaurant in the Philippines, where I tried my first Kare Kare. This is a bright yellow stew made with oxtail in a thick peanut sauce. It was pretty tasty, but I probably wouldn't rank it amongst my favourites. Cebu to Bohol, Bohol to Siargao. Our last stop in the country was the hip surfing capital of the Philippines. The beachside towns here are swarming with wave worshippers, and there are tons of healthy cafes serving Instagram-worthy smoothie bowls. But on this island, I also tried one of the more notorious delicacies in the country. Balut is a fertilized duck egg that is boiled and eaten straight from the shell. The time has come. I've been putting this off for pretty much 2 months, the whole time we've been in the Philippines, but it's time to go and try a balut. You usually find this strange snack being sold from little white boxes. We drove about 5 minutes away from town and saw this little stand on the side of the road.
This one.
This one. Oh, it's warm. It's hot. There's a little routine to eating a balut, so luckily this friendly lady helped me out. First, you crack the shell and make a little opening. Then you add some salt and a splash of coconut vinegar. The first part of the snack is the warm, soupy liquid inside. So I drink?
Yeah. Drink.
Cheers. It's like chicken.
Yeah.
Like soup.
You eat all.
It's actually good. It's actually nice. I've got to say, balut is actually pretty tasty. It is absolutely horrible to look at, but it's what's on the inside that counts, isn't it? First bite. It's good with the vinegar. It's like a mixture of like egg and chicken. It's not really what I expected. And that, I'm sad to say, was the end of our very first trip to the Philippines. And I know there were tons of dishes that we didn't get to try and so many islands that we didn't get to see. But I promise you, we will be back. But for now, all there is to say is Philippines, thank you so much, and I'll see you again soon.